Charles, how are you, my brother?
Happy Friday, man.
It's been a minute.
Oh yeah, been a lot going on. So, we've been kind of out and about.
We have. Well, speaking of that, good reason to us being out and about. And so I'm going to let you take a moment to reflect on this historic, what happened Saturday, which is a culmination of a historic season that is still in progress. But just talk about the SWAC championship and just reflect on the season thus far as in the 2021 fall football season for the Jackson State University.
Historic season, man. Get the brooms out. SWAC has been swept. I think there's only one school out there that ducked us.
UAPB.
Yeah, Golden Lions. They got away. We'll get them next year, I guess. But yeah, undefeated in the SWAC. Uh, it's been a long, long time since we've had this level of success. And first time since 2007 winning SWAC championship. Yes.
True. I mean, and it feels good, man. I mean, and let me just, I'm all out of whack. I'm so excited that you can see I just got us all out of whack and that information. There we go. There we go. But I can't even, I mean, sitting in the stadium, I'll tell you how hectic it was. How about I didn't even know you were in the game?
Yeah.
You didn't know
that,
where I
type,
was in the game.
that type of crowd.
When has that ever happened? Right? How long?
Yeah.
So that was significant in itself. But just for me, the moment was watching the players that have been there for 4 years and 5 years, been there through Tony Hughes and Hendricks, never won anything. And to see the feeling, to see the jubilation, to see the way they played, to see that experience through their eyes, that was priceless to me.
About it. I mean,
You know,
you look at Hampton and Newman, and I mean, I can go down the list, but I've always been partial to Hampton. That's probably my favorite player on the team. uh, just because he gets it done on every single snap. He's 100% committed, and he always has been through the good and the bad. So, um, you know, I feel like kudos to those guys, man. They bought into the message. They believed. Not only did they believe, it wasn't just talk. They executed. So I'm
I
happy
mean they
for them.
did. And I mean, and especially Hamp, because Hamp don't he doesn't say much, right?
Right.
He's
He
not a
just
loud
he
vocal
just
guy.
delivers. He
Right.
delivers every single play. He delivers. He knows where to be. He's like a train conductor, on time, every time.
I don't know, like, and I know not all of our audience are like just X's and O football folks, but I gotta tell you, he played like a man possessed this
Well,
past
wouldn't
week.
you? Wouldn't
Yeah,
you if you went from being defensive player of the year to uh yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that was a slight by the SWAC. Uh, I know we got newcomers in the SWAC as far as Bethune Cookman and Florida A&M, but Hampton has been consistent, and he should have been recognized. But that's okay. He made
He, I
sure.
think I think he'll take this for a championship ring.
Yeah.
I,
Well,
I
we
think
got
he would be
unfinished
happy.
business. We got unfinished business, so we got the Celebration Bowl coming up.
We do. And speaking of Hamp, before we leave that, he big NIL deal for him, something new, but I think it's going to be very significant. Digital dope. Um, the digital players card, featuring music from his brother. Really neat concept. It's really taking off and growing, and that's the wave of playing cards in the future. And so, if you haven't had a chance to check that out, check out the digital dope card for Hamp. You can pick that up. I think Hamp is selling them. Maybe his dad, a couple other places, but definitely want to support him on that.
It's funny.
Great
It's
dealer.
funny you say that because one of my subjects of choice that I'm always talking about is crypto, and his digital playing card is very similar to NFTs, non fungible
It
tokens,
is. It
and
is. That's
so
exactly what it is.
yeah, so I
That's
mean,
exactly what it is.
intersection of sports and cryptocurrency. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, out of all the NIL deals, I mean, look, you got to be forward thinking to see what he's just done.
yeah,
But let's just say he's going to be in very good shape,
yeah.
because that's exactly what it is. It's based off cryptocurrency and NFTs, and that's what it is. But it has all kind of unique things. When you buy that card, you can click on it, you can get his music, you can get personal interviews for him as he explored his journey, impromptu moments during the journey. Um, you just can't get that on a regular playing card, So
No,
it just, and
no,
he can constantly change the content and add to it. And for a guy that doesn't talk much, it gives you a lot of insight into who he is. So very interesting. Just it's dope. It's, so check it out. Go support it. I think a card is $200 a card, but it's an investment in a young man and what it's doing. That card will increase in value, because I can promise you, you will see that young man on Sundays.
better. We had better. Uh, One other thing before we leave, I think Grambling got a new coach today.
Gremlin did get a new coach, and I think I pulled that up over here, and so I'll just slide that over here and blow that up. But Gremlin did get a new coach, um, Hugh Jackson, right?
Yep.
Is Gremlin's coach, and so there that is, and good old Hugh.
Well, good luck to Hugh and the G man. Uh, I wanted to give a shout out to them. They got a new coach, so Grambling is embracing change. But before we leave Jackson State, did you get the picture I sent you of Aubrey Miller?
I did get that picture.
Can we put that
Um,
up? Can we put that up just so we
let
can
me let
celebrate?
me let me find it. Did you? I think you sent it. Oh, you sent it in regular text. Hold
So for those of you who don't know, Aubrey Miller came over from the University of Missouri. He's a linebacker for Jackson State's football team, number 45. Uh, Very malleable young man. Also happens to be a member of Omega Psi Phi. But he graduated today. So we want to celebrate that. Not only is he getting it done on the field, first team all SWAC defense, but he's getting it done in the classroom. So kudos to Aubrey Miller.
on. Yep. I gotta find. I don't think you sent it to me through Glip, so I'll get it up here when I
All
find
right. Well, while you're doing that, I think Southern got a new coach too.
it. Yeah. So I'm gonna let you take that one.
Oh,
That's
I'm not a I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but brother man was real clean at the press conference after the SWAC championship.
well, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I can't look. I was trying to come up with something, but I got nothing.
Ah, the timing on that is real sus. I mean, but hey, Southern got a coach. I'm sure Prairie View will do the same. The coaching wheel turns all the time. We know that. And he's from Louisiana, so we wish him all the best.
Well, listen. First of all, I know they've changed the rules now, and so the the players get a chance to leave. But I think, and I know everybody is just looking like, hey, I got to take care of myself. And I know he was going home. But man, the timing of that is tough. You're playing for the swag championship. So like, do you even ride the bus back? Because you know they announced them on Monday. So what did you do? Get the prayer review on Sunday and turn and just never leave the airport? What at the bus station or what? What did he
I'm gonna
do?
tell you. I'm gonna tell you now. The man didn't have on exactly bus attire, and you don't you don't necessarily wear an ascot on a bus. I suppose it has been done, but that's not. That's more plain attire.
True, but I mean, but do you take the trip back with the team? Do you just leave the team to go home by themselves at the loss? I'm just what's the proper etiquette there?
I mean, if the Kelly boys can dip out on Notre Dame, I guess he can dip out on Prairie View. I guess
I guess this
timing
is
is
Aubrey
all that.
Miller. Congrats to Aubrey Miller, which is your fraternity brother, by the
That's
way.
correct. Very humble young man, but he'll go get it on the field, go get it in the classroom.
You know, that is I'm so proud of him, and you're right because he and Hamp are like Evan and Ivory, right? They like
Yeah,
the odd couple. He is loud. You gonna hear Aubrey coming.
yeah,
You gonna wish you would have heard Hamp coming.
that's right.
It's just but I'm happy for them, and I believe Hamp is already graduated with his bachelor's and is working on completion of his master.
Yeah,
From my understanding. So congrats to both of them, and that's what it's about: getting it done in the classroom and on the field. That's the true sign of success. So I'm proud of those guys for what they're doing there.
yeah.
Charles, let's turn our eyes to one thing. And we're going to talk about this throughout the show and what we're doing for that. But there's something going on in Atlanta, and you may notice behind me, you know, there's something going
Ah,
on in Atlanta. Uh,
South Carolina State University versus Jackson State University in the Celebration Bowl, the Black College National Championship on ABC, December 18th at 12.
Wait a minute, did you say three letters?
ABC,
You said ABC.
major
Oh, okay.
network, major network. And I know people are gonna say, I thought this was a legal show.
Yep.
we talk about a range of issues from pop culture to sports to law, politics.
And just trust me, we do. We talk about all things that matter, and if you're in Mississippi, Jackson State football matters right now, and so we're gonna get to some other topics as well. But we definitely wanted to remind you, and never forget, we are proud Jackson State DI Love alumni and supporters ourselves, and so we haven't had the opportunity to brag about our football team being SWAC champions in quite some time. So give us a little latitude right now.
Yeah, it's a little attitude.
Just a little latitude.
So maybe we should talk about um what we're doing for the Celebration Bowl.
Yeah. So in celebration of Jackson State going to Atlanta in the Celebration Bowl, we here at Irvin Law are going to be giving away some lucky people free tickets to the game. We're going to be giving away free tickets to the game, which is a hot commodity right now and very hard to get your hands on. And to enter the raffle for the tickets, you simply need to put it right up on the bottom of the screen. Go to raffle.irvin-law.com and just fill out the information and enter the raffle. Very simple to do. Simple as that's what the website will look like. You just enter there to win, put your information. You can tweet about us. You can post to Instagram. You can follow us. So please do follow us on all those platforms. Enter your information in. The reason why your phone number and stuff information is we got to be able to call you to get you the tickets. So enter that in so we can keep in and see if you are the lucky one. We're going to be giving away several tickets to the game in Atlanta. All you have to do is enter the raffle, free to enter, raffle.irvin-law.com. I'll leave it scrolling at the bottom of the screen, and we'll talk about this again a little bit later. But raffle.irvin-law.com.
Very good. Very good. So at least somebody will win some tickets to the celebration.
It's going to be a celebration. One way or another, it's going to be a celebration. I believe in that. So, turning gears, Charles, not everything um, has been something to be celebratory about. So, switching gears to COVID, COVID cases is more than doubled in South Africa last week as the Omicron variant has surged. And the World Health Organization said new COVID-19 cases in South Africa um, were not only the center of attention, but they're more than doubled and prominently with the Omicron. I think I'm saying it right. Is it Omicron? Whatever.
Omicron.
Omicron,
Uh-huh.
however you want to name it, if I'm not saying the right variant. So, something to keep our eyes on.
Def- Definitely. As you know, we were dealing with COVID. Now we're dealing with COVID's variants. Delta variant has been rampant and very strong and consequential. And on the heels of Delta variant, which Delta variant is still very much alive and well, Omicron is active. Um, 22 states have cases confirmed of Omicron variant, I believe. Mississippi being one of them, Texas being one of them, uh, Georgia, all around. So we want to make sure that we're taking the precautions. I heard there was 60% of the population vaccinated. So kudos to those of you who have gone out and gotten vaccinated. Um, Now you need to get those boosters if you hadn't gotten your booster. And for those who are still on the fence, this is why you need to get vaccinated because COVID is not gone. It's very much as potent as it was, and now it's starting to spread out in different variants, different attack vectors. So you want to protect yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And, here's the thing, we talk about it a lot, but let me just say we've gone out there. I've got my booster. Not only have we gotten both shots, fully vaccinated, has been so for some time. Also, I've gone and got my booster. It was painless. There are no more long lines like it used to be. I mean, literally, you make your appointment. I was in and out, and I'm not kidding you. 9 minutes, I was done. So, and that's the time it took me to walk out the parking lot into the building. So, no excuse. Get it. Do it for yourself, your family, and others. Um, it's very important. We've made significant progress, but it pains me to see us losing people and then on their dying beds they're saying, "I wish I would have been vaccinated. I
That's right.
wish I would have taken a shot."
That's right.
And I just don't want that to be you. So let's
Now,
make sure we do all we can to take care of each other. Now, Charles, moving along, Jackson has been in the news a lot lately, particularly looking at the crime numbers. And I know some officials, elected officials, and key leaders in the Jackson area came together last week. I believe it was last Thursday to talk about reducing the crime. And they are looking at a citywide curfew for those that are under 18. Are you familiar with that?
yeah, I I am, and I'm familiar with the rise in violent crime around the city, particularly aggravated assaults. Um, and you know, when you get up to aggravated assault, the next step is murder.
Yeah.
And so, trying to find all ways in which you can affect that number coming down.
You know, let's dissect a little bit. Going through the pandemic and being that you specialize in criminal law and do a lot of that's a big significant part of our practice. But Looking at the pandemic, the effect the pandemic has had on the court system and the justice system itself, and with the crime rate surging, how important is it to for everybody, all of us, to do things to reduce crime and also to reduce ourselves of being possible victims of crime during this holiday season? Because we know even on a non-pandemic year, crime rate seems to spike and always increase during the holiday season.
Well, I would say a couple things about that. One, for those residents and citizens who are moving around back outside, now that COVID has lifted some of the restrictions, uh, you still have to be mindful of your surroundings, whether that's, shopping mall parking lots, department stores, what have you, even getting gas. You want to make sure you're in well lit areas. Basic precautions, things that we all know, but sometimes we get lax on our security. So you want to make sure you're doing those things. For older people, watch out if you're on social media for scams. Don't click every link that you get. Um, and then specific to Jackson and COVID and crime, uh, opportunities. You got to create opportunity because um, you know a lot of this is spurred by uh, drug activity and lack of positive activities. So those opportunities have to be created.
Another thing I will say that's good, piggybacking off that, is if you're in a store and you're coming out, get your keys and everything together before you walk out of that store. Also, take a second before you walk out of that store to survey the parking lot and remember exactly where your car is. Another key thing is instead of taking a beeline straight to your car, there's been studies that show that if you take a beeline straight to your car, the criminal can kind of predict where you're headed and where your car location is and target you. So don't walk in a straight line, walk around so they really don't know where you're going. Um, all those things to throw off and have your keys out. And when you get in the car, that's not the time to be making a phone call. That's not the time to be looking at your receipt. Start that car and go ahead and start moving.
Yeah. One
And
thing I would
then
add, one thing I would add to that, Leslie, and you mentioned it, phone calls. One of the biggest problems we have right now with situational awareness is people looking at their phones. You have time to look at that phone once you get home.
right. Look, I always tell people you just, you don't want to make, for the most part, criminals look for the easy targets. They not always, it's not like they want to work super hard. They want to be lazy too. So they look for the easy targets. So if you make yourself an easy target, then you have a higher probability of being a victim. If you make yourself a very difficult target, then you lower the probability. So those are the things we're telling you to do. Do things that lower the probability. Nobody wants to fool with somebody they thinks going to be a problem. So I just wanted to get that out,
I can agree with
especially another thing with kids. When you coming out, if you're single, one parent, and you have your kids with you, have the kids get in or on the same side. You get in, let them slide over, because you don't want to walk around. Because one of the things they've been doing out here in Texas, you might be coming in on the passenger side. You send a kid to walk around and get you coming in on the driver's side. Send a kid to walk around on the passenger side. They grab the kid, which now it creates a different problem. So have them get in on the side you're in, slide in, and you slide in, and you go ahead and move out. Those are just some tips that can be very helpful for you. And then if you have to go out at night, which this time of year a lot of us do, try to go out not alone, with others if you can.
and agree with you more, brother. I mean, those are good tips. And the purpose of those is not to scare anybody, but to up your situational awareness. You got to be on your game when you going in and out because there are bad actors. Um, you know, So we want to make sure that we are aware of our surroundings.
Absolutely. And so definitely, definitely, definitely do those things. And for goodness sakes, put the phone in your pocket or your purse
Yeah.
because you don't have time to deal with it when you're walking out in the busy intersections there. So those are just some things to be aware of. Another thing, one other thing I'll say when you're driving, if you notice or you suspect that somebody is following you, if you notice, try to time your stops if you got lights coming up to where you just start slowing down as you approach the light to get that light time to turn so that you reduce the amount of time you spend at a stop. The other thing you can do if you have a car in front of you, don't get so close to the car that you can't get out if somebody comes behind you. So you got to be able to get out. Don't get so close to the car that you can't get out and you're boxed in. So those are just a couple additional tips.
Agree 100%. Situational awareness is everything around this time. Um, it should be all the time, but we know Christmas is a joyful time. People are out buying gifts and celebrating. So make sure that you're aware while you're doing those things. And if you're going to holiday parties, call an Uber. Don't
Yes.
drink and drive.
Yes.
Call Lyft. One of the two.
Or you can do like Charles used to do all through college. They just got a designated driver, which was me, because I didn't drink. So I was always the designated driver, which is why today I hate driving. And so I get them back. But yeah, that's what they did because there was no Ubers back then.
No, no.
The I was the Uber. You know, I should have come up with that idea back then and just made myself an Uber for hire. I've done all right.
Yep, yep.
Um,
So I was gonna say we were away for a couple weeks. During that time, we've had budget issues on Capitol Hill. We've got threats from one congresswoman to another about her religion. We got all kind of stuff going on Capitol Hill. We've got the January 6th investigation going on with our congressman over it, Congressman Benny Thompson, issuing contempt charges and threats of contempt against the chief of staff of former President Trump. So there's a lot of stuff going on Capitol Hill. Just because we stepped away for a minute doesn't mean we haven't been keeping our finger on the pulse. There's a lot going on. And Leslie, before we go too far into the show, congratulations to our alma mater, Columbia High School.
Absolutely. CHS won the 4A division state title in football in Hattiesburg, Mississippi this past weekend. So it was a fantastic and shout out to all CHS alumni. It was a heck of a weekend. If you were a CHS alumni and a Jacksonian, you it was a heck of a weekend, a double championship weekend for you.
So I got a trivia question for you.
Okay, go for
What ties those two championships and two institutions together?
it. So let me put it to you this way. So Columbia High plays on the Walter Payton Field. And guess what? And the Jackson State team's home base is the Walter Payton Center.
Yeah,
And Walter Payton is the what ties them together because he played at both institutions, among many others from Columbia as well,
yeah. He's the
including
most famous.
including my namesake. My father played at both institutions and is in the Jackson State Hall of Fame as well.
That's right. Sweet Pete and Sweetness. How about that?
What's the name? Whew.
Yeah,
I didn't get labeled the name sweetness, but you know I did have the S there, so well I can't say that sugar bear. I guess that's sweet too.
that's right. That's right.
But shout outs to them, and hopefully, I want to piggyback. I don't know if you saw the image, and I was trying to find it. I couldn't grab it of the sportsmanship that the players had
Oh yes, I
to
did.
the
I
young.
saw it.
Yeah, the young.
Yeah,
There was a young man, and I'm thinking that was the young man that kicked maybe kicked the field goal or missed the field goal. at the end of the game, and he was just really emotional in tears after the game. And the Columbia players surrounded him and just encouraging him, and that's what it's about, sportsmanship. And so I sat there and I watched that, and I said, "That's definitely something Sweetness would do."
Yeah, among other things, because he played in the band at halftime. He did a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he did. And then at
Before,
Jackson State, not only did he run the football, but he kicked, he punted, he
yeah,
kicked off, and he kicked the field goal.
yeah. I saw some pictures of him participating in halftime in his football uniform.
I tried that. They wouldn't let me do it. Mr. Barnett wouldn't let me do it, but I tried it.
Yeah,
Coach Freely
yeah,
said no.
yeah. Well, he was one of a kind, so you know.
True though. Um, see, Olivia is in. Nice to see you, Olivia. Hope you're doing well, and a few others that are here. And I won't hold it too long today, Charles, but I did want to talk about. It seems like we're going to avoid the government shutdown. That's been dealing with
It's
that. Did you?
crazy. It's crazy that we're even having that discussion, uh, especially with the objections that I heard were the loudest objection being uh, opposition to mandates for COVID vaccination.
Yes.
When we
Well,
are approaching 800,000 deaths, and we have seen not one variant but two variants now that are active and going through our communities, and you want to shut down the government to make a statement. I always tell you this, Leslie. I always tell you this now. The foolishness starts the closer you get to midterm elections. So here's my predictions. The Republicans have made the calculated gamble that the more chaos they can weaponize, um, that's what they're going to use to try and win the House. And so, what do I mean by that? They are going around and systematically getting in place people who believe in overturning elections, um, being very selective about challenging voter rights in different states. And they're doing it on a local and state basis, which keeps it out of the public view a lot. It's already happened in Georgia. We talked about that extensively. If they don't like the results of the election, they could possibly overturn it. Why do they need to do that?
right.
Stacey Abrams is running for governor, and they're scared because you have what 1,500 new voters per week that move to Atlanta,
Right.
and so it doesn't matter how you mess with the the lines as far as congressional districts. She's running for statewide office. She can pull from all of them.
Yeah, because it goes on just pure volume vote, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's amazing to me that these things are happening in 2021, but I shouldn't be surprised.
I think we need to be important. I want to make sure we explain that. So, because that's always a point of contention during a presidential cycle, just trying to understand the popular vote versus the electoral vote. And now that we're in midterm, where we're not in a presidential cycle, we're referring that the popular vote is king. And so I know that confuses people a lot of times, and particularly young voters that are not as mature in the process. Could you speak to that and clear that up?
Sure. And in presidential cycles, electors or electoral college, you have the popular vote, and then you have the number of electoral college votes that is assigned to each state. And so the states, well, Georgia, let's just say Georgia, because they're out front the most and the loudest. Uh, they fixed it largely in part to the attempted overturning of the election that just happened with Biden versus Trump, uh, to fix it where the Secretary of State's office can um, take away the results if they don't like them. If they can basically say we don't think the results are right, so we're taking them away. Well, that's anti-democratic in that It's supposed to be your voice and your vote. It shouldn't be left up to one person to decide if your vote is good enough. That's akin to Jim Crow.
Good
Uh,
point. Look, as we head to the finish line, I want to bring up again and remind everybody to, if you want to go to Celebration Bowl, we are raffling off tickets. You may be the lucky one. This may be your lucky day. Raffle.irvin-law.com. Just go there and complete the form, submit, and we'll be raffling off. Charles, you know when we're going to start raffling off? Have you come up with the date of when?
I guess we need to do it on Monday or Tuesday so people can make travel plans.
So we'll come up. We'll plan to come on Monday or Tuesday live and do a special show episode. So make sure you like our page. We'll announce it so it'll be scheduled. You know it's coming, and we'll do a live raffle show right on the air, and we'll let you know who's going to Atlanta and going to the game on us.
Yeah, you gotta buy
Charles,
your
you
own popcorn though.
say that again.
You gotta buy your own popcorn. We can get you in the game, but you gotta buy your own
Yep,
popcorn.
got to buy your own popcorn. Definitely got to buy your popcorn, and you got to get there on your own. But hey, um, get there, and I guarantee you'll have an amazing time. And it may be people that live in Atlanta you want to go, but maybe you didn't have quite enough to bring the kiddos. Look, there you go. Needed a ticket for the kiddos, so put your name in the raffle. It may be your lucky day. So, Charles, I'm not going to hold us too long on this Friday. I know as we just get back, I'm going to turn it over to you to close us out and give your final points on things that you see from your perspective and your lens.
Well, I want to touch on a couple of things. Um, One is um, we need to come back and talk about cryptocurrency as community and how that affects the Black community. So look out for that. We'll do a show around that, and I'll talk to you about ways in which I see parallels to how we can use cryptocurrency to advance the Black community
Th-
from a financial perspective. That's
Yep.
one. Two, it is officially silly season in politics. Um, um, of course, Georgia is going to be a headliner because you got Stacey Abrams getting ready to run for governor. Um, she'll be running for the second time, and she will be victorious. But beware of all the nastiness that will come with it. And as we move towards the end of this calendar year, I want you to start thinking about the things that you are grateful for, the impact that you've made on your own community, and then start planning for how we can get involved and do even more in 2022. So those are the two things that are on my mind. How do we diagnose, digest all of this silliness? Because people have a tendency to tune out, and I think that's what they want. They want you to tune out of the silly season in politics. They want to make it so raunchy that you say whatever. But remember, your vote has power. So make sure. And then think about what you're grateful for and how we can advance that moving forward into the new year. It's December 10th, but December 31st will be here really fast. And so now's the time to start thinking about that.
Charles, one other thing, I think we should salute all of the JSU Fall 2021 graduates. I think they've marched today, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct. That's correct. Fall 2021 commencement was today. And we gave a shout out to Aubrey Miller Jr., but shout out to all those graduates um, in the fall 2021 class. Their graduation is happening all over the state, but um, we are unabashedly bias to our dear old college home.
Yes,
Thee I love wherever I may roam. Jackson Fair, Jackson dear.
Jackson dear. I also want to salute the I Love for the economic impact. And we'll also come back and do another show just really dealing with the economics of sports, particularly when you have a large fan base and you galvanize that fan base by winning. What's the effect that it has on the community at large? And so you just heard a report out from Visit Jackson that estimated that the economic impact, the bottom line numbers, this is not fluff. We're talking about dollars and cents now. The dollars and cents effect that Jackson State football had on the city of Jackson just this fall season was $30 million. Now, my message to the city of Jackson, to the businesses in Jackson, to everybody that benefited from that economic impact, here's my message and here's my call to action. We're now coming and saying, we've generated this for you. Now we need you to support us with giving us some of that back to grow the program so we can continue to bring you even greater economic impact. So make sure we invest in what is feeding us. So don't just take the money and not give back to the vessel that is your marketing engine. Make sure when Coach Prime and Director of Sports, the Vice President of Athletics, Ashley Robin, come calling, make sure you answer with the same vigor. Make sure you answer with the same enthusiasm, and make sure you open your checkbook up and write that check to DI Love JSU.
Ain't no more, brother.
All right, you guys have a great week. Don't forget the raffle. I'm looking forward to next week to giving these tickets away. In the meantime, if you're gearing up and headed to Atlanta, we'll see you there. And again, congratulations to all the graduates. Be safe this holiday season, and I will see you. Wait a minute. Next week we will be traveling to Atlanta. So let me get that announcement out. So we're going to do a special show before we leave where we're going to announce the raffles. So we'll do a special show next week, and just maybe I don't know, we may do something cameo when we get back from Atlanta. I don't think we'll be able to do anything while we're there, but we will be celebrating one way or another. So stay safe, and until next week, raffle party right here when we give away the tickets. Be safe, and we will see you then.